3 people are dead and 1 man is fighting for his life this morning after a suspected mushroom poisoning in South Gippsland in Victoria. Reporter Bridget MacArthur headed down to the affected towns yesterday. She joins us now from Melbourne. Bridget, good morning. So how is this small community coping with this huge loss?
Yeah, Michael, well, to give some context, Korumburra, where the 4 victims are from, is a really small town, just 5,000 people. So to cope with the sudden death of just 1 person is an enormous loss, let alone 3. And we know that all 4 of those people, speaking to people in the community yesterday, were enormously involved in their community. All 4 were part of the Korumburra Baptist Church as well. Actually, the 1 man who's in a Melbourne hospital at the moment fighting for his life was their pastor. And then one of the women who died on Friday night was his wife, along with her sister that same night. And then on Saturday night, the death of her sister's husband. And so we headed down to the congregation and the church yesterday to speak to a few people there. They had a candle lighting ceremony and a lot of mourning for the people who have been lost, as well as praying for the pastor who is still fighting for his life. And speaking to 1 man, he said they had to actually bring in extra chairs. There were about 80 people filling in what was a pretty tiny church, and then heading down the street afterwards. Really, it sounds like everyone either knew the 4 people or knew of them, even the mayor who we spoke to after the service.
This is extremely difficult at the moment as we grieve the loss of multiple people at one time. And as I said, people who are very integral, positive, loving people and who give so much to our community. So it is difficult, but I'm confident that those in our community who know the family will get around them and support them as best they can.
And Bridget, what do we know at this stage about the investigation?
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of question marks. We do know that homicide squad detectives are investigating the matter. And in terms of the actual series of events, so a week ago on Saturday, the 2 couples had a meal together at a private residence in Leongatha. They then fell sick the next day with what they thought at the time was food poisoning. Both couples presented separately to Korumburra and Leongatha hospitals, and then had to be referred onwards to, I believe, Dandenong Hospital and then to a Melbourne hospital where they received further care and treatment. Obviously, as I mentioned, the 3 have now died, and that's where the 4th remains fighting for his life. And it is the Department of Health did say that they suspect that mushrooms were involved, so it is a potential mushroom poisoning. But we also did hear from Victoria Police that they executed a search warrant 2 days ago in Leongatha and interviewed a woman in her 40s. She's been released pending further inquiries, but the police say that they're working closely with the Department of Health to figure out the exact circumstances surrounding these deaths, and they've extended their condolences to the families.